So what do we really do as physical therapists? I know this is a pretty tough question for most of us to answer, and early on in my private practice career I had a couple physicians basically ask this question in a number of different ways, but it would sound something like this. Why should I send to you versus another physical therapist? Well, now that physician referrals are slowly trending away and we're going more and more direct access, more and more directly to the public and direct to the consumer, the modern day question of that is, why should I choose your physical therapy practice and services versus going down the street to your competitor? And I think it's a really good question for us to answer. I've been working on this in my private practice from day one, and most of us will, almost every private practice says something along the lines of, we have high quality care, you get to see the same physical therapist every time, we do one-on-one, you get manual therapy every time you're in. There's something like that. There's some sort of perceived quality of the care that we're giving. Recently, I was just thinking about this a lot, and had a couple conversations with some really key people in the private practice and physical therapy industry, and I kind of had a much better idea. And then even if we go outside of private practice industry and physical therapy industry, we can see this being used in other ways, and it's very, very effective, so I'm excited to share it with you here. And it's basically a before and after video. And just imagine this, that if every patient you came in, you would ask them these series of questions. Within the last month, between 0 and 10, what's the worst pain you've had? And they would say, okay, 7. All right, so 7 out of 10 pain. What were you doing when that happened? I was going up and down stairs at the end of the day. Okay, can you take a video of that? So imagine if you had patients coming to their first appointment with a homemade video. By the way, there's never been a better time to implement this than right now. Even 5 or 6 years ago, not everybody had a smartphone. Now, more than half the population has a smartphone, so really easy for them to get that before picture. Okay, I want you to take a 15-second video of you walking up and down stairs at the end of the day. You're going to see the grimacing, you're going to see that they do step to step, you're going to see that they really struggle. Maybe they really have to rely on that handrail or both handrails to pull them up the step. And so that gives you something to work on. It gives you something that's functional, gives you a pain scale to work with. And imagine 4 weeks later, so we've all seen this as physical therapists, how people go through, like, we see it as miraculous, but the world doesn't see it that way because we never really share it with them. So we're talking about here with the before and after video how you can do that, and you can show the world what you're doing. So anyhow, imagine 4 weeks later, a person's been through 8 visits of PT, they now can go up and down the stairs at the end of the day, no pain at all, and you show a video of that. So in this blog post, I'll link a video that I did, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years ago. We used to do a lot on walking before and after video gait analysis, and this particular video that I'm going to share with you is somebody who had a partial thickness rotator cuff tear, was looking to avoid surgery. We basically could replicate what he was doing at work with a simple scaption range of motion video. You're going to see this dramatic improvement that he had. But imagine if you did that for every single one of your patients, how it would dramatically change not only your practice, but the private practice industry and physical therapy industry in general. It's something that I really believe in. I think we all should be working towards it. And I just want to share some other benefits with you. It shows results. And just think about who it shows results to. One, the patient themselves. Have you ever had the patient who came in day one, couldn't do sit to stand 5 times out of a chair, or they walked poorly, or they came in walking with a walker. You see them for their entire plan of care, you get to the end, and you're asking them how they did, and they basically say, oh, I kind of feel the same as I did in day one, and now they're able to do backflips or cartwheels. I've seen patients like that. Here, you get to show them, and they get to see for themselves how they were moving when they started and how they're moving now. I know personally, I've seen patients triple their strength who told me that they just kind of felt the same. So, huge reduction in pain, tripled their strength, dramatically improved their function, but because they're not completely better, they say, because they don't feel 100% better, they kind of invalidate their own physical therapy experience. So it shows results. So it shows them to patients. Obviously, you can make this part of the medical record, show it back to the referral source. Imagine that if your referral sources were opening up an email, by the way, this isn't a HIPAA compliance video or blog post or anything like that. I'm not giving you legal or ethical advice. I think we can figure that out, but we could make it part of the medical record. The referral source or referral sources could see that before and after video. I think that's very simple to do because we're showing them something that's related to the patient's plan of care, that is not marketing. And then think about all the other uses and how your practice would transform. One, you could have administrative. Imagine if you had a physical therapist who saw 20 new patients, and at the end of the month they had two before and after videos, and you had therapist B who saw 20 new patients and they had 18 before and after videos. What's that telling you? Well, this person likely has more visits, more completed plan of care, less patients that go missing in action, fall off their schedule, and it's probably getting significantly better outcomes in their visits. So like that would be something that would be helpful, where you could track everything administratively. I think right here at Madden PT, we're going to build our entire private practice around this concept. The next thing is marketing. You know, imagine, not that you're going to ask every single patient with this, but I know like we have on the wall a ton of testimonials, and actually I'll show you here just so you can see them. So little field trip here, so you can see just some of the testimonials there out through the window. Up over my shoulder you can see that's Joe's area. So we have all these testimonials all over the place, which are great, but they're very static. And usually we're relying on the patient's literary skill and their writing skill to communicate what's going on. And I know that we have one in particular out there that says, I haven't been able to golf in 8 years and now I can golf. You know, that's really cool to read. Imagine how cool it would be to see that young lady on her first day in, and you know, that we had a 15-second video showing her not being able to swing a golf club, or like having pain or something like that on her backswing or whatever it is, and then showing her playing golf for 15 seconds at the end of her treatment. How much more powerful that would be. And you know, we could go back to her and say, hey, Mary, do you mind, here's a release, we really love your story, would you mind if we use that in marketing? And then we could ask permission for that after the fact and use that as a marketing piece. The other one is social sharing. So I don't know about you, but we do a ton on Facebook right now, and you know, our biggest demographic is, oddly enough, 60 to 64-year-old women. And what are they sharing? Items about themselves and also items about their family. But imagine if Mary, our hypothetical golfer, or at least our hypothetical named golfer who hadn't been able to play in 8 years, if we had that video for her and she shared it, you know, people would be congratulating her, they'd be sharing it themselves, they'd be asking her, you know, what she did to get her golf swing back, and all the ramifications that are really, really positive that would happen if we had that available. So a really cool idea that I wanted to share with you, the before and after video. I'm working on a project right now with several private practice owners around the US to implement this, figure out how we can streamline this process and make it a part of everyone's plan of care. But I think it's the best way for us to answer, what do we really do in physical therapy?